Okay, I'm Melanie, and this is my husband, Robert. And this is called Ask Robert Life After a Lockup. So, a quick backstory. Uh, we've been together now a little over 4 years. We met when I worked in a library at a prison, and he was a inmate clerk in the library. And we fell in love, and he got out in December of 2017, and he was able to come home in March.
After some struggles to get out to Arizona, I was in prison in California.
And we got married in May. And since he's been out, I noticed there's a lot of people that are always curious, and there's a lot of people out there that don't have any experience with having people that they know having been in prison, and they wonder what it was like there and what it's been like after. So we thought we'd put it all out on this vlog. So my first question for Robert
Hold on one sec. So, just to add a little bit of context to the backstory, I was in prison in California. I served a 20-year sentence for transportation and sales of narcotics and receiving stolen property. California has a very draconian, strict sentencing structure to their laws. They're starting to soften on them a little bit, but when I got busted in 2001, they were, really trying to put their foot on your neck for anything that you got busted for. And due to the fact that the laws were like that, the prisons out there in California were experiencing extreme overcrowding. The inmates weren't getting adequate mental health care, and there was a lot of suicides and people not getting the right medical treatment that they needed. And so a federal panel of judges stepped in and said that if California didn't fix the overcrowding issue, they were going to start releasing inmates. So as a band-aid on the problem, California started sending inmates out of state to private prisons, to CCAs, well, they're called core civics now. And that's how I met Melanie. I was sent from California to Arizona. We're actually in Arizona, living in Arizona now. But I ended up serving a 16 years flat on my 20-year sentence for a nonviolent crime. And as she said, I was released December 28th, and it's been 8 months since I've been home now, and we kind of want to share a little bit of the struggle and the journey with you guys, and in case anybody has any family members that are going through spending significant amounts of years in prison, kind of what are some of the things to look forward to when they get out, or how to deal with some of the stressors that life has. Because like I try to tell people, doing time is easy, man. It's sucky and it's hard, but you basically just have to sit there and wait. Granted, it's misery and it's crappy having to wait, but you just have to sit there and wait. Your responsibilities are to stay alive, don't get stabbed, and just make it out on your date. People out here in life, they have it hard. They have to go to work every day, they have responsibilities, they have families to take care of, children. So, there's a stress in their living and trying to survive, but then there's also a different kind of stress out here. So we kind of want to, help some of the guys that are trying to going through some of the hardships, adjusting to life, out here after a lot of years in there. And it's definitely an adjustment, man. And not just for me or for us, our family members, they sit there and wait. There's a missing piece to the puzzle of their life that's away from them. And when they get that puzzle piece back, it's new and it's exciting, but it's scary and it's hard, and there's a bunch of different struggles. But like I like to say, you have to find the beauty in the struggle. So we're here to answer some questions, and
My questions for now.
her questions for now. But we just wanted to put it out there and try to help out anybody else that might be going through similar struggles and might need some words of encouragement. So to the questions.
Okay, so my first question is really, what was it like your first week out?
My first week out, it was kind of surreal because actually before I could talk about my first week out, I got to talk about my first week and subsequent weeks leading up to getting out. I thought I was good, Like mentally, I was like, I got this. You know, I'm getting ready to get out. I was excited and happy. When I got about 14 days to going home, man,
He was not good.
I got completely scared, S-less. You know what I mean? You just start thinking about all of those years that you were out of this world, and you know, it just kind of really plays a mind game on you, and you try to, you know, you start thinking, you know, you feel like an antiquated dinosaur that just doesn't even belong in this day.
An alien.
An alien. I felt like an alien on another planet when I came home. You know, you don't know if you're gonna fit. Technology's changed, styles have changed. You know, every single aspect of life has moved on except you. You just sat there on a shelf and collected dust for all those years. You know, and you know, you just had to. And about 2 weeks before I came home, I was really like going through it. But the week after I came home, it was almost as if the moment that I walked out the gate, it was like, I can't even describe the feeling. It was like the grass was a little bit greener and the sky was a little bit bluer, and you know, you could look around and there wasn't, you could look around in the distance and see as far as the eye could see, and there wasn't a chain link fence or razor wire or a gunner with a machine gun, you know, in the distance. You could actually see and smell and see all the colors of life, because prison is very one-dimensional. You know, it's grays and, you know, it's blues, it's whatever color the prison garb is. It's you're lucky to have grass on the yard if you're lucky, you know, but where I was in the desert, there was just dirt, and, you know, so get to see the colors and everything just opens up. So it was just very exciting, and then it was almost like a surreal dream that I can't even put into words. It was like the best, most exciting, happy, scary rush of every single memory and thought and color and taste and feel that you can imagine, just flooding over you like a tidal wave for a week, longer than that.
So give us some specific examples.
Just walking on carpet again for the first time in the hotel room that her and I stayed at. You know, I walked on the carpet with my bare feet. I hadn't touched a carpet with my feet in, 16 years. You know, being able to go inside the bathroom and shut the door. Being able to get in a shower without, 10 other guys, and, being able to use the restroom in a private bathroom. Getting to wear clothes of different colors, and smelling good, and getting to eat food with silverware, getting to cut your food with a real knife, getting to just, feel what all the smells on the wind smell like when they blow across your face when you're standing free. Getting to drive in a car with your arm out the window and the wind just rushing across your face, and the landscape just dotting by without anything holding you in the car but just the handle of a door. You could open the door of the car and get out at any time you want. There's a million different things, small things that you can't even describe, that are just feelings. It's like trying to describe every one of those feelings would be like trying to catch the wind. It's just something that you're not going to do. I could try. It's like trying to describe colors to somebody that's blind. I can try to, but you just don't know until you feel it, and it's just a feeling. It's a feeling of utter freedom. People take freedom for granted because they live in this world where everything is taken for granted, all of the little stuff and all of the big stuff. But when you feel that kind of freedom that has been just denied you of so long, it's just like the best drug you've ever done. It's like the best, you can't even describe it. I can't even put it into words. It was an amazing, incredible experience being home.
So some things that I remember that you talked about, the first thing that we did when we got out, we were driving to the hotel and we stopped at the Cabazon outlets.
Cabazon outlets, yeah, in California.
And there were certain things that you mentioned.
It was a trip because like when I got busted and I went away, cell phones had just evolved to where you could just take a picture with them. I mean, you couldn't even send the picture to another phone. It was just, you had a camera on your phone, and everybody was like, dude, your camera's a phone, and it was cool. But coming home and of course I'd seen on TV, and I seen some cell phones in prison. I'm not gonna lie, but to see everybody walking around like looking at their phones like in this mindless it was almost like they're being hypnotized by this little handheld thing, and they're just walking around just like zombies, like connected to this thing, and that was a trip to see. And then girls had always dressed kind of like skimpily a little bit, but man, dude, girls walking around with it all hanging out, man. We're walking around, and I was just like, damn, look at all these girls half dressed, with their butt cheeks hanging out, and it was,
What he told me about that was that he didn't know where to look.
Well, yeah, I mean, I felt shy, and because in prison you kind of keep your eyes open, your ears and your mouth, your eyes open, your ears open, and your mouth shut. You just kind of, and you try not to stare at nothing too long. You don't want to stare at nobody too long because you're trying to be respectful of people, and you don't want to get caught mad dogging somebody because they're gonna think you got issues with them, or females that are in there are usually cops and staff. You don't want to be eyeballing them too hard either, because if they do, they're gonna take offense, and most likely you're gonna get in trouble over it. Or you're gonna fall in love with the librarian and she's gonna marry you.
Either way, whatever.
One way or another. But I'm just saying that you don't really, your mind is set on this frequency from being in there, and when you come home, you kind of have to realign the way that you view everything and the things that are okay to do, and it's just a different life. It's a different life in there, and it's a different life out here, and words are hard to describe the differences. It's such a completely different place in there. I mean, and I said it's easy, but it's easy in such a hard way, because you have to live by certain rules in there, and you have to learn how to survive a certain way in there, and that those places, they breed violence and hatred, and there's people that are trying to kill each other in there over nothing, and they're very dangerous places. I mean, I can only speak for where I've been, and in California prisons are, they rank right up there with some of the bad places in the world, and it's just, it's hard to completely deprogram your brain from the way that you have to be in there. It takes a certain kind of mentality to step away from that person that you have to become to live in there, and to become the person that you have to live out here, if that makes any sense.
There was one other thing that you talked about that first, or when we were at the outlet mall, was just the stores themselves, and you thought it was weird how inviting they were.
Yeah.
All the bright colors,
yeah.
and the pleasant
well, I mean,
people, and the music playing in the background.
Yeah, it was just you don't get that kind of stimulation in there. You don't get to see bright things that are cool, and hear music playing. It was inviting. And it was like I couldn't stop looking around, just being in awe of everything. I felt like a kid on Christmas and his birthday, and all the cool things in your life just wrapped in one.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like that 8 months out. There'll be times when I'm just I just stop dead in my tracks doing something, and I'll just be I'll look at my watch and I'll be like, man, these dudes are panning at the gate waiting to go to yard right now. And how sucky that is, And then you fight for a shower with 100 other dudes trying to get back in before count time, and hoping that something doesn't happen at yard to where, you get locked down right after yard, and, or a riot, or it's just crap. It's just, it's so much better out here,
So how about, you want to talk about the two of the, harder things that happened during that first week? One was the going to the movies.
We'll talk about that next time. It'll give us something to talk about on the next one.
We're talking about the first week now.
No, but it's time is 15 minutes into it. You said 5
Okay.
minutes.
Well, that has been...
This is Robert.
And I'm Melanie. We went on way too long. We might redo this.
Yeah, we might throw another one out there, and have a little something else for you guys, We just wanted to throw something out there and let you guys know that no matter what you're going through, and no matter what your families are going through, you guys aren't alone. There's people that have been there, and there is a way at the end of it to be successful and live your life. You don't have to let prison and the things that you're going through in your life define your future or who you are. You just got to find a way, deep inside you to change, your path, and to just become a better person, the person that you have inside you. You just have to learn and find the way to do it, And I'll tell you what, man, if I can be sober for all these years and I can figure out a way to fix the flaws of my life, and I was a very broken person for a long time, then anybody can, man.
Okay, we're signing off now.